Hello, we are CyncHealth Group 1, and we were creating a standard operating procedure for our future state design. Our group is consisted of Nathan Davis, Dan Holt, Bronson Rogers, and Matt Yonkers. Today we're going to talk about the objectives of our project. We're going to go over our recommendation, methodology, and ROI, and talk about some potential areas of future investigation. Overall, our objectives were mainly to create a current process map for CyncHealth for their data request process. We wanted to also set some standard process timing for that process. We wanted to provide process improvement recommendations at the end and recommend a future state process for CyncHealth overall. So our recommendations, we had 3 of which. Our primary was to vet potential customers better and more effective way to save CyncHealth time and therefore money. Our secondary recommendation was to prepare potential customers better by providing them more concise information on what they can expect from CyncHealth and what the rules and regulations are for that process. Our tertiary recommendation was to standardize a cross process system, which we will go over later in the presentation.
Jumping into the current state, this is our current state analysis after interviews with various members. Jumping into our methodology to reach our future state. So as Bronson previously described, these are our 3 types of recommendations or big takeaways, or to update questions from the primary recommendation and our secondary recommendation, or those 3 listed takeaways, which is to include the video at the top of the request page, include that dictionary, and 1 pager. And our tertiary recommendation is something that Nathan will cover later.
All right, moving on to economic opportunity. This has not changed since our future state design. We updated the potential savings based on the information in the first main point. We are still targeting a 5% decrease in overall project processing time, which we calculated to be roughly 4 days based on an average of 12 weeks of completion time. And based on salary alone, we estimated that this would come out to an average savings annually of about $40,536. And we base that off of the equation seen at the bottom of the slide. Overall, that economic opportunity does not take into account profits from new projects, as we didn't really have a clear way of how we would calculate that information.
All right, so moving into a standard system throughout the company to implement that. It has been identified within CyncHealth that Salesforce will be implemented, and we explored some of the most effective ways at employing this through these recommendations. Moving on to our further areas of investigation, these are things that we identified that we didn't quite have time to work through in the project that we had, but these are some of the main things that identified as projects for future teams to work on with CyncHealth, creating a roadmap for future senior design cooperation. In conclusion, we went through the objectives of our project, went through the recommendations that we provided with CyncHealth, as well as the methodology and return on investment with those recommendations, and then discussed the potential areas of investigation for future teams working with CyncHealth. These are our sources. Thank you for your time.